So it's not everybody that does things in one go. If you find yourself in that category, it's never a shame. It's never a shame. A lot of multi-millionaires out there, they have been rejected in so many jobs, in so many things. Go and listen to their story. So yeah, so that's one of the things that bring us in as a planner. And unfortunately for them, they have no place to push us. We are part of the team. We are part of the team. So that is contract and site planner. Don't worry, whatever I'm saying, I'm still going to be repeating it because I'll get to a training point or a specific highlight or topic that I'll still have to refer to this thing again. So you will hear a lot of things multiple times. So if you miss the understanding now, you will still hear it and all of that, especially when it's become a key thing, I will keep repeating it in the course of the program. I mean, training, I'll keep repeating it because it's important. So I'll keep repeating it. So then we have forensic planner. Yeah, that is what I just talked about when there is court case. I love this one. This one, they are big boys. They make good money. So aside from having the basic knowledge we are having right now, forensic planners, there is a different training for them. I this I can share this with you for free. This is my Vision 2025 training. So there is a company that train you for this, you know. As if this training we are doing right now, you cannot boldly say you are a forensic planner, okay? However, when you go for the forensic planning training itself, this training play 75% role. It plays 75% role. So if you don't have these, there's no point going for forensic planning training. That is why I say it's a career growth. There is a lot of windows out there. And the more training you get, the more line of complexity you get into, the more money you make. Because the more value you become, the more valuable you become, and the more money you make. And it's not hard at all. It's not hard. My direct line manager just finished his forensic planning training. When did we have that meeting? In June. And this is the guy that been in this industry for the last 27 years. So you see, he just did forensic planning training just this year, June. And he's been working in planning industry in the last 27 years. So it's a career growth. They think there's a need for it, and he went for it, you know. So then hybrid planner. So hybrid, we know what that means. That is one of the benefits of being a planner. So you can work between home and office. If you are very privileged. I have a friend who has been a planner for the last 2 years, and he has only been to office 4 or 5 times in the last 2 years. So you might be lucky to find yourself in that situation. I'm not in the same situation. I'm in the office minimum 4 times in a week. So I mostly work from home on Fridays. However, I can easily just tell them, okay, I need to go to my daughter's school. So I'm going to work from home. So I can easily make requests for working from home other days, but my contractual working from home is Fridays. But the fact that I'm a planner, it gives you a flexibility. That's my point. It gives you flexibility. I have a friend who was in Bahamas last year and he was working from there. If we're in a meeting, you see trees and you see rivers behind him, and he's still at work and he's still in the holiday. He joined meetings and he does what he want to do, he continues. One of our colleagues, the guy I said he just did forensic planning, he was in Dubai 3 weeks ago and he spent 2 weeks and he was working there. There's no way you want to be a site engineer and you want to be working from Dubai. Are you going to give them coordinate point from Dubai? You know what I mean? So that is one of the benefits of this career path. I would say to you again, finance industry, car manufacturing industries, IT industry, we have loads of program managers. Program managers stem from planning because they have a software they use and the basic knowledge of what they do, we're going to be covering it. The only thing that they use a different software. So we are learning I was sitting with one of my colleague, one of my friend, when I first started. So I was like, we normally do like a career share. So he work in IT. So we book a meeting, 2 hours meeting, and we sat and he came with a laptop and everything. We're having a chat, we're having a coffee. And so I was asking him what he does. So he showed me what he does, and I showed him what he does. He was like, what? Like, if I come to his project, I'm just going to take over his job because they use one small mini online software like that. And P6, like I said, is one of the greatest program management and project planning software. It can do a lot of things. It can tell you how much it's going to cost you for a project up to 2050. It can tell you. If you are failing, it will tell you this project is going to fail in 2040. And instead of finishing in 2050, you're going to finish in 2060. It will tell you. And as soon as you start mitigating it, it will be giving you a new result, a new report, a lot of that. We're going to get into all of that. It's very lovely and interesting. They might look complicated in the beginning, but once you know it, you know it. Some of the things you will learn on job, some of the things we will learn as we go on, but we'll build ourselves on a basic knowledge as a beginner or intermediate, because now I'm going to be sharing some commercial and information with us, which is going to trick you into either planning or intermediate. You know, as on the board, you can see I have junior planners. It's a good place to start. There's no harm in it. We'll look at what are the entry requirements and what is the pay rate level. And you can choose where you want to enter from in between that line, either as a junior planner, but I can tell you, with the people that is on this platform, none of you can come in as a junior planner. No. Even if you come in as an assistant planner, if we are still in the same platform, the WhatsApp platform, and you are still within our mentorship, you can't spend, I won't let you spend more than 6 months as an assistant planner. That will make you go straight into intermediate planner, and maybe 3 or 6 months in intermediate, and the next one you're going into full planning. But I normally encourage people to start from intermediate planning or planning. So as you can see on my list on the board, so the difference between them is the knowledge, is the experience, is the skill set, the informations, and how you can interpret informations and how you can use those information. We're going to touch on all of that, and I will tell you all the information you need within different categories. So you personally, when we do the mock and the exam, you will boldly say, I think I want to just start as assistant planner and get into the industry. And I want to spend 6 months sitting on the chair, taking some coffee, looking at their document. And after 6 months, I'm going to fly out and go straight and apply for another job and go into intermediate. I want to spend another 6 months or 1 year there. Then I want to see a lot of people within 5 to 10, 15 years, they sit in planner. So there is a way the PCs can speak to other softwares, and they can only generate what Mr. A wanted to see. So I will show us a bit of what that is all about as well, which is part of the way we control projects. So activity codes, so all these codes are the one that is utilized to pull information to different locations. So like I said, it's an Oracle software. And once you put the specific code, the software can talk to the other ones and say, your code that you wanted from P6 has been put in. Now you can generate the informations of the activities that have your code. So that is why coding is very important. Don't worry, it's very easy. You'll be provided the code list for different activities, and it will go into where it's meant to go. It's not your stress about how it goes there. It'll just tell you black shoe. The code is A64, whatever. You just go and put that code there, and it will pull itself to where it's meant to go. So there's a lot of ways to make it easier. And we're going to speak about that. The way I do my own work that make my life easier, and people just think that this guy's not working. But I try to work very smart. I don't like stressing too much. So in the beginning, I might be stressed when I'm bringing those documents together. But once I got it right, I'll just be inputting that document, and what people are doing for 3, 4 days, Within 30 minutes, me, I'm done. And I left the work, I'm back home. So we're going to discuss all of that. So within the course agenda, we'll look at introduction. We'll try to create a project plan. We'll start up and navigate around the software. We'll create a new project. We define calendar. That's why I said once you define your calendar, you can run it on the background to whatever year you want to run it to. You will be doing the rest by itself. There's a lot of things you can do by itself. Once you give it a good command at the beginning, it will generate the rest by itself and you will not stress. We create Primavera project WBS. WBS means works breakdown structures. I will speak more about it when we get there. We'll be looking at adding activities and organizing activities under different WBS. So under project, we'll break a project down into different parameters, into different sub, if you remember, okay, let's say if, I don't know if you done this marketing people used to do that is like a people will call, is it Ponzu or what do you call it? That look like a
Multi-marketing, multi-levels.
yeah, that brother Paul will bring one person and the one person will bring two people and the two people will bring three people and the three people will bring two people again. So by the time you look at the person that started, he's got like his down Nyla is like a 10 or 15 people, but remember he only brought one person. So that is how this thing will break down into pieces and they can easily talk to themselves because each person understand and each activities understand the gene of his predecessor or of his downliner. So once you create that information from his downliner, he can, excuse me, he can speak with the code and he can connect directly to it. We're going to look at that. It's so fun. It's very interesting. And we're going to play with a lot of stuff that will make our life very, very easier. Then formatting and display, adding relationship, you will know all of that. It's just like, as the name implies, you can decide to make someone your friend. You can decide not to make them your friend. So that is what it means by adding relationship. You just decide, I want to make so person my friend, and you add it to yourself. And if you don't want to make it your friend again, you just delete it. As simple as that. What we look at when we get there. So also we look at the activities network views, constraints. They are very, very good ones. A lot of people use it to cheat, but I'll tell you where people are get caught by using it. Group and sort, when we are doing some work and somebody just come. Okay, Brother Dakwa, we agree with me on this. We have surveyors, we have engineers, we have site managers, we have site foremen, we have site supervisors, we have project managers, we have commercial managers, we have um, QS, which is the quantity surveyors, and we have all of them, and they need a different thing. So this one, they will help you. This group and sort and layout, this filter, they are very important. It will make you to, it will help you to make people happy and upset them because they don't, some of them don't want to see what other people are doing. They just want to see what they are doing, so they're not going to be overwhelmed. Some of them seeing 20,000 activities, 50,000 activities. They just wanted to see my own 20 activities and the date I'm doing it. So they will go and be planning and be preparing for their own date. So by the time it's their turn, 28th of September 2026, they will just turn up. And that is what P6 can control. It can tell individuals when you are required. So it can control costs. Instead of you just, the iron bender is on site every day, coming to look at, these carpenters, when are they going to finish this form work now? And our iron is ready. When are we going to put it in? No, they don't need to be coming to site because this program will tell them when they are required because it was running the electricity. So that is what people don't understand. They thought it's only Monday to Friday we work. No, work is 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. Because except if you want to tell me that when you are going on Friday, you park the cargo cab, you return it back to the owner. No, that's still sitting there and they charge you for it. Electricity, you are using everything. So let's assume you spend £1,000, I mean 10,000 in a day on a project, and somebody's telling you that this project is going to delay for 1 year. That means you are spending about £300,000 in a month times 12. So if you can give them an early warning and you can analyze for them and said, instead of you, because of the way you are working and you have worked in the past, you cannot gain the 100 and the 1 year, but I can help you to gain 7 months. Okay, that means they're going to lose 5 months. So from that 7 months, that is 300,000 times 7. Okay, you now tell them, I want to get paid 10,000 per week, and I'm going to do the analysis for you for 4 weeks. They will not be afraid to pay you because they know you are saving them 300,000 times 7. That is where planner get money. That is where what they are paying a valuable planner. That is where the company calculate it from, because they know you are saving them time, you are saving them cost, you are saving them resources, you are saving them integrity. Let me see if I have that my document. Yeah, okay, I'll find that one. So that is why I'm saying this is that I'm trying to boost and to encourage us and see future in what we are doing and understand what this is all about. But everything I'm saying, they are all possible for you to know it. It's not hard. This is just our first day in the journey of 12 weeks, if not more. You get what I mean? And this is your first day in the journey of a lifetime. Now, what we have talked about today, you have had an idea about it. When we come in the next meeting, we speak again, you see it improve, the confidence builds up, and it is doable. And one of the privilege we have being on this platform and being part of our training network is that you have access to book an appointment with me. If it's not going to be a long one, though, if in case you want to ask me anything privately, you have that opportunity. The last time I had a meeting with people from other platforms, I have to charge them for it. But as far as this platform is concerned, you can say, okay, can I book a meeting with you? Can we have a chat or something? I'll tell, okay, can we speak? Most of the time I have availability in the night from 10, 11, 12, all those big time. You can see that most of my messages come in later in the night. That is when I have a bit of availability. So we can always have a chat. Please don't be paranoid and don't let anything push you off. So we look at also updating and scheduling. That's very important. It's everyday stuff. Every planner must know it. Either you are planning manager or an assistant or whatever, you must know it. You water down. Then using our users and administrative preference, we look at that. Creating roles and resources, we look at that as well. Assigning roles, resources, and expenses, we'll look at that. In some stage, it will not be necessary for you because you might not be a cost planner. You might not necessarily need to be costing your project. So like the project I'm working on right now, we have 3 other planners that cost the project. So we are planning, we are producing reports, we are producing results, we are producing activities and when it is meant to be done. So some people are going into your project and they are putting cost into what you plan so they can generate results. Because it's a lot of job, like I said to you, you have about 20,000 activities. So if you want to start costing it, it's going to take time. And I'm looking after 9 projects and I have 20,000, 15,000, 10,000, depending on how big the project is. And I have 9 projects. So they know that I might not have time to put resources and roles on them and expenses. So they employ other people on the background They'll go into what you're doing and they'll put cost into them, and we can generate what the project cost is going to look like. So resources optimizations, updating a resources schedule, all of that. I can do all of that, but at the moment it's not my work, but I can show you how to do it as well. And how P6 generate it. I will show you. Other method of organizing project data, which look at that, the global changes, managing the enterprise and environments, multiple project scheduling. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I schedule 9 projects in one go. And then utilities and value manager will touch a bit of that. I can tell you in the next 10 years, you might not do it, but it's something to have an understanding about. And most of the time, there are planners that specialize on this. They earn different type of money. So, but we'll speak about it. But if you want to go into it in details, there are special training for that. All right, we still got a bit of time. Let's look at some of the things that we can look at. So the purpose of the course, we look at the required background knowledge, the purpose of the planning, project planning matrix, planning circle, and then that's what we're going to do on the introduction, the monitoring and control. Then we have purpose of the course. Now, so this course we're doing, it's been provided, is to provide the method for planning, scheduling, monitoring, and controlling project using Primavera. Don't mind me, don't be upset. We have to do this theory because we need to understand, instead of just jumping into the software, we need to understand a lot of theory part of it, so that when I'm speaking in the software, you will well have understand the theory part before we get into the software, which is a practical. So again, the purpose of the course is within an established enterprise project database or a blank database. So we can produce within the enterprise, we're going to be producing a project database or a blank database. So which you can now expatiate or expand it into different project requirements. I'm going to show us the project requirement and the project needs, but how a Primavera works is that you go to the enterprise and you create your project database. So required backgrounds. I think we've spoken a bit about this, but just as a reminder, I believe every one of us can use computer very well. If you cannot, please seek a bit of training on how to use computer, just a basic knowledge of switching on your computer and switching it off, and then probably some other softwares in the computer, so which is the fundamental of the operating system. Then you need to have experience using application software such as Microsoft application softwares, so Word document, Excel, and PowerPoint. Like I said, these are the things that differentiate from junior planners, assistant planners, intermediate, and all of that, depending on how much value, on how much you can do, because if you are getting into that point where I call it planner, you need to be able to interpolate some of the information into the software. So this is where the level of what you know is very important. By the time you are here, you should be able to use Word document very well to create report. You should be able to produce from Primavera to Excel. Because some people don't like that software. It's not that they don't like it, they can't read it. To them, it look like it's too much. Like, how can I read this? I don't know what to even look at. Let me see if I can see one of my projects. For you, you might not find it upsetting, but trust me, engineers, foreman, project managers, yes, project manager who has been there for over 20 years, they don't like P6 because they think they can't read it. Especially those who train in a traditional way. Those who started as a laborer and they become a chainman and they become an apprenticeship or whatever, and they become a surveyor and they become assistant site engineer, they become a site engineer, then they become a section engineer, they become a senior engineer, become a sub agent, they become an agent, and they just find themselves to be a project manager. So they did not necessarily go and read engineering. So they learn in a traditional way. So they don't really like anything that will make their life difficult. That is the way they say it. So they always push back. So you will now find a way to communicate with them by putting your software in another format that can, let me see if I have 20 March, February, cool. So this is just a PDF. These are some of them will look like. I know some of us have seen it. A number of us have seen this before, just to show. So you can see, and this is even the smallest one I have. And it's how many pages? 34 pages. That is what I have on here. And this is one of the smallest. Some of them can go as high as 60, 70 pages. And you'll be surprised that everything there does not really, some of them are not your concern. So they don't want to see them. So that is when we need to be able to, you need to be able to put this stuff on a, what's it? So we need to be able to put it on a other document so that they can be able to interpret it different. So you supply different information to different people depending on what they need and depending on what document they wanted it. So, and if you can do that in multi-document, good interpretation, the same representation, those are all those few skills that move people from point to point, among other things that I'll be talking about. So basically, you need to be able to, and PowerPoint, we produce a PowerPoint report where sometimes we have to go into some designs. I will teach us about designs and drawings, how you can extract information. You put them on PowerPoint, you explain that this drainage going so place, there's a blockage on that drainage, so they can't do that, so they need to skip. So because they are skipping that section of 150 meters, they will come back to it. Then the program is no more linear because maybe you are going from, for example, from number 1 to number 1,000. But when you get to number
You're not
300,
sharing that screen again, sir. You're not back to
am I not?
the, yeah.
Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint that
Okay,
said
you can see the
required
PowerPoint.
background?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm explaining now. So I'm just trying to say what you might need to more. Okay. I'm trying to say some other skills. What we do with PowerPoint. So what we do with Word document, obviously you extract information. I will show you some information that comes in Word document. And you need to know how to navigate around Word document without messing up with the document because it's a live document within the company portfolio. So if you change anything there, it's going to confuse everyone. So that is why we're talking about people having experience of using those documents. If you don't know how to use it, you delete something, it's gone. And it's going to take, probably they have to go back to the back office or deleted items to bring it back. And once you delete it, and it's something that every other person within the establishment needs to see, and you as a planner go in the document, you deleted it by mistake or by the fact that you don't know how to use document, so that is what comes to knowing how to use the document. But if you don't know how to use it and you fall in between junior planner, assistant planner, whoever is your your upper boss will be extracting those information for you. You will just be using them. So they won't give you access to go into some sensitive document. So I'm just trying to explain what are the things that makes people fall between the different categories of levels within the industry. And you just keep growing. Once you can do that, I can do that. And we produce PowerPoint presentation for the board meeting. So when I say board meeting, these are the people that you don't even see more than once in a year. So you produce information for them, you generate information, bring information together maybe about your risk, about your blockers, about your opportunities, about safety information about highly risk and technical issues. So I will give you one example. Because there is a project I'm working on right now, they have instructed the company I work for to improve the water consumption quality because I work for water company right now. But they want them to continue to run water to the public. So they ask you to remove a machine that is working and put a new one. But you must continue to supply water. And you must not contaminate the one that is already going out. So we need to produce report of some document that needed to be put together for us to be able to do different. I just make it very simple, but as simple as I just said it, that project is 8 years project. As I summarize, saying improve your water quality level by changing some of these equipment to a new one, and you must continue to run the same water. You get what I'm saying now? So with that, if you want to continue to run the same water of the same high quality, then we need to put some parameters in place. And we as a planner needs to produce some report. But the level of report you produce or the level of information you generated or you provide or you have access to, it depends on your hierarchy within the industry. So if you are within a planner, you don't do that. All of that little things falls within a senior planning consultant level. So if you are a junior planner, assistant planner, but I can tell you for free, you can do it. Don't worry the way I make it sound. By the time if it's something you want to be doing, it might not necessarily be covered in this topic, in this beginners and training session, because it requires other trainings I need to give you, but it's something you can do if you want to progress into that level. This is a P6 training. It's not an Excel training. It's not a PowerPoint training. It's not a Word document training. So you can imagine if I want to start teaching people how to generate all those in PowerPoint in a depth, it can take me another 3 to 4 weeks for me to get you there. So I will be speaking about it, and you can benefit something from what I said. And if you think it's something you wanted to go into, we can talk about that towards the end or when we get to the end of our 12 weeks agenda. Because I'm still going, like I said to Pastor Dapo, I'm still going to try and meet us one-on-one so we can see face to face. I'll put job on the screen. I'll put, because there are some things I cannot share because of confidentialities and because of the GDPR and because of my job, I can't put some things on here. But when we see face to face, I can show us because it's not recorded. I can show us something that I know is not high risk. I can show us, or something that I cannot show us. That is why I showed this one on PDF, which is just easy for me to do that. So, but I will find a way to provide as much information that we need that will give us a full confidence as we go on. So the next one we said, an understanding on how project and planned schedules, how projects are planned, scheduled, and controlled, including understanding the project management processes, applications, to your project. So you can imagine we're still going to be touching a few things are part of project management, where you understand who are your stakeholders, what is the contract agreement, different kind of contract, how to manage stakeholders at different points, and who is to report what to within the stakeholders, and how your stakeholders can impact your project, and how you need to involve them in your project planning. So as a planner now, you'll be planning stakeholders as well. You know, if you have a Methodist church parish and part of their land is where your machine is going to drive through before it gets into your site, they become your stakeholder. It's a big problem because you need to do planning application. You need to meet the church authority. You need to get, and all of that needs to be in your program, because if those things are not taken care of, there's no way your material wanted to get to site. And if you don't have material on site, you can't work. So, but it becomes very interesting because they are all practicals and you can relate with them. somewhere within your mind. So, so that is why the ultimate purpose of planning is to build a model that always that allows you to predict which activities and resources are critical to the timely completion of the project. So we're going to be looking at critical parts as it implies. When they say something is critical, so that means you must not miss that thing, because once you miss it, it's going to have impact on the project naturally. Once you miss it, you're going to have impact on the project naturally. So when we are building a project, we're going to look at our critical part. We're going to look at our milestone. As the name implies, milestones are the things that you want. It is important for us to touch them so that another person can be released from prison. That's the way I would say it. So we must do that thing so that another activities can be released for prison. When I say released from prison, means they can be released to be done. So we must do that thing before they can be released to be done. So we must create a temporary road for a lorry or heavy equipment to be able to walk on top of some petrol pipes, APG pipes. So when they discover that your machine is going to be driving through a specific path and there is a petrol pipe underneath, there's a regulation that says you need to create a temporary walk on it. So if you don't create that temporary walk, that equipment cannot move on it and the job cannot be done. So temporary work become a milestone. We must achieve it. Okay, another thing is that when must we achieve it for that job that is meant to start will start. If you don't achieve it on the 10th of September 2024, and that job did not start on the 11th of September, then that means that job will not finish on the 30th of December. If it doesn't finish on the 30th of December, we have missed that deadline. If that 30th of December, they meant to do something for us, maybe your company is meant to request for money on that date so that you can pay people before they go for Christmas. So that become their key things we'll identify in the course of a project. I will show us where to find that information in the contract. Some of this information are in the contract. There's a way to find them and you put them in your program and you drive every other thing with them. Because if those things move, they're going to move. And if they move, it's going to affect the company. And when they affect the company, where is the time? Where is the resources? And where is the cost savings? So those are the things that planner does. So where we try to take ourselves out of the risk is that we give them awareness that they are about to miss some dates that might necessarily push that key date. So we can give them heads up saying, I did something in my last meeting on Friday. There is one of my contractor, because as a consultant, we have other subcontractors. I've got like 4 or 5 of them. So there is one of them that I had a meeting with him and he told me that he's going to run out of work by mid of September because there are some of the design that have not been released. There are some of the CE that have not been released. There are some of the early warnings that have not been attended to. There are some of the DRR that have not been attended to. There are some RFI that have not been answered. Those are 6 things he told me. So I listed them and I flagged it up in a meeting. Following Monday, they book a meeting with him. Now they have seen that they want to release some of these RFI so that he can continue to work. Don't worry. All these technical jargons I just mentioned, I will explain them when we get to a part where we are dealing with construction methodologies and terms. I will explain them. But they are part of the juicy things that make this job very interesting when you have a bit of ideas about them. Like I said, sometimes ago, I don't know what they mean. I also learn it over time. Like everybody on this platform will learn. Some of them may know it, try to be chipping in some engineering stuff or wherever to explain a bit, but it's not going to be a detail. But if we want to have a crash course on all these, we do that as well. So we have students already in this training who wanted to become a site engineer, wanted to become section engineer, wanted to become senior engineer, and we give them employment support. Those are the ways we're going to do in this platform as well. There's a lot of
Mhm.
support we'll be having, CV writing, CV development, getting job interview, how you go for interview, what are the likely questions, and all of that. We're going to be doing that towards the end. But
Okay.
in one condition, if we do the exams, because that exam is very important, because that will help me to know where I need to support us more. That will help me to know, because see, it's easy to listen, but when you lay hands on it yourself, that is when you will know where your weaknesses are and you can build on it. Then you will know your strength and you can use it as your advantage. You build on your weakness, use your strength for your advantage. So we can give you that like that. So if you want a crash course on all these, like I said no degree, no certificate, no worries. We got